Viewer, today is one whole week since India Today began reporting the Pune Porsche accident case. Each day that we've covered this story, it has felt like I've managed to cover as many of the ugly layers as there actually exist. But each day I've been proven wrong, and you've seen it every single day here on my show. This morning, I woke up to a message from my friend and reporter Divyesh Singh in Pune, who had just broken today's big update. Something that we had suspected from the start, but stands shamefully proven today. That the family of the underage Porsche driver had used its muscle and money to probably bribe senior forensic doctors into tampering with the underage teenager's blood sample in order to hide the fact that he had been drinking, to hide and mask the alcohol content in his blood. Can you believe it? On India Today, we believe in naming and shaming, and that's why we were the first to release the identities of these two doctors, Dr. Ajay Tavde and Dr. Srihari Halnor. Two doctors, medico-legal experts, entrusted by the state and community with doing their job without fear or favor, choosing instead to crumple like cowards for a few lakh rupees and probably the threat of damage to their careers at the hands of a politically connected family, the Agarwals. But these two doctors who've shamed a noble profession and brought disrepute upon themselves and their colleagues and their families are only the latest players in what our reporters have revealed over the last 1 week, with newsbreak after newsbreak, to be a well-lubricated chain reaction of corruption flowing from one powerful and super well-connected family. What is truly shocking about the Pune case is that the machinery of corruption kicked into action even before the bodies of the two victims, Ashwini and Anish, had been moved from the road. Based just on what we know so far, viewer, let me paint you a simple picture of just how seamlessly corruption played out in the Pune case. It began just minutes after the accident, when the two Pune police personnel on ground decided not to alert the area DCP about the accident. In other words, the cops on the ground decided almost instantaneously to try and handle the issue on the ground itself. That stinks of cover-up right off the bat. Next, the underage driver was taken to the police station where he was provided with food. Some reports say pizza and sandwiches. The police deny this, but he was definitely given something to eat. But why? He was further allowed to take a nap. The boy's family and lawyers were allowed access to him at the police station. He was permitted to make calls. The local MLA from the NCP Ajit Pawar faction also arrived there. Why? And his role in this disgusting episode is also under scrutiny by us, and we will, I promise you, find out more. Well, under pressure from the politically super-connected family and its battery of lawyers, the boy wasn't taken for a medical test to check his alcohol levels until 8 hours after the accident. Meanwhile, the boy's father, powerful builder Vishal Agarwal, had escaped from Pune only to be nabbed 48 hours later in a different town in somebody else's car. Only 15 hours after the teenager's detention, the boy was out on bail, with the Juvenile Justice Board judge providing a host of bail conditions that brought this story to the national spotlight in the first case 1 week ago. Bail conditions that nobody will forget, like writing a 300-word essay about the accident, getting counseling and avoiding bad company, etc. In the meanwhile, the Agarwal family was also apparently busy convincing their family driver Gangaram to sacrifice himself and take the blame for the accident, leading to him being questioned twice. And all the while, as we now know, as we've told you today in our big news break, two doctors had quietly been phoned by the family or their political contacts and ordered to throw the boy's blood sample into the dustbin and present a clean blood sample of some other unsuspecting patient as the legal finding in this case, basically to suggest that the boy was not drunk, he had not been drinking. This, viewer, was 360-degree corruption. It played out seamlessly, almost elegantly. The people who bent and were bought almost didn't need to be asked. That's the power of a rich family with political connections in this country. Their demands, their priorities, their requirements are understood down the chain and sometimes Calls don't even need to be made for this corruption to play out. Just the name of the families springing up in the case seemed to be enough for cops, doctors, judges, lawyers, bureaucrats, MLAs, possibly even ministers to begin to crawl and show deference. Which is why, let me say this straight with no doubts at all in my mind. I don't buy for a minute that this powerful family's strength was the police or a pair of doctors. It had to have gone way above that. You and I both know that, viewer. So whether it is people in the Eknath Shinde government, or the judge of the Juvenile Justice Board, or members of the Sharad Pawar NCP, or members of any other party, nobody should be beyond merciless career-ending action. If it's a minister, we will expose them, and I promise you we will name and shame them, as we have been doing without fear or favor for the last 1 week here on India Today. Let's be clear, the Maharashtra government was goaded into action thanks to media pressure, boosted nationally by India Today on this day last week, and then thankfully taken up by all others. The truly unsettling aspect of all that I've just described, though, isn't the corruption itself. It is that such corruption took place, viewer, in plain sight, in one of India's big cities, under the full gaze of social media, with well-known people. For all we hear about the battle against corruption, the leveling of the playing field for common citizens, the accountability of the wealthy and influential, the Pune story is a jolting reminder of what celebrated French writer Jean-Baptiste Alphonse Karr famously said in 1849. The more things change, the more they remain the same.